Hello, and welcome to Our Ventura TV. and, this is MB Hanrahan. And my guest today is Carl Morehouse in his capacity as the chair of the Ventura Sister City, I wrote it down here, association. Did I get that right, Carl?
Correct. You got it right. You got it right.
Okay,
Or
so with that,
actually, our formal name is San Buenaventura Sister City Association, but that's the way we're recorded on our nonprofit papers with the state. But
I
otherwise,
like that. No, I like our formal name. So why don't you describe for us exactly, like what a sister city is and then what our sister city program is.
right. Well, thank you, and thank you for the opportunity. The Sister City program, actually, Sister City International, was established back in the 1950s under President Eisenhower. The idea being that if cities around the world would start to find some other city they had something in common with, that they could start to do cultural exchanges and build bridges. And maybe that might reduce wars. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Mm.
Um, as it is, Sister City International exists. Ventura never joined it. We've never actually had a sister city. Santa Barbara has five. Oxnard has one. There's all kinds of places that have sister cities. We never had one, and so we were looking for one. About 1955, when the late Councilmember Neil Andrews and I were talking about this a lot,
Mm.
they appeared on our doorstep, the city of Loreto, Baja Sur,
Mm.
and they came to us and said, we've got a Channel Islands National Park off our shore, and so do you. And our mission is very much tied to your mission, which was the last one established by Father Junipero Serra. And he started his missionary work in California here in our city, which was the first capital of the Californias. And the El Camino Real actually starts here. And would you like to be our sister city? And we said, sounds good to us. We haven't had one. And we've been looking for one. So it makes a lot of sense. Now, there are slight discrepancies. Loreto is a community of about 18,000 to 20. They're slowly growing, and they are on the Sea of Cortez, and we're of course about 108,000 people here. But the idea that we're both on oceans and do have those shared experiences makes it worthwhile. And so this got established, and we're trying to build it. We've had, like every other organization, setbacks during the COVID period.
Mm.
So you had to hit the restart button a time or two, but we're finally gaining ground. In the last couple of years, we used very productively during the COVID period. When we started off, we were actually under the auspices of another nonprofit organization. And then in the past 3 years, we've broken away, written our own bylaws, gotten our own incorporation papers with the state, established ourselves with the federal 501c3 program. And now we're starting to build our hopefully our membership and our activities.
Wow, that's fantastic. So we just love the picture that you're painting here. You spoke of activities. Is there a specific focus that Ventura has to create a community or a bridge, or I'm assuming that's what it is, a dialogue with this sister city?
Well, it's yeah. The sister cities set up whatever they wanted to do for cultural purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we're partnering with the city of Hermosa Beach. Hermosa Beach has been a sister city to Loreto for 53 years or so.
Wow.
Um, but they have a little bit different focus. They've been having a student exchange program for 50 some odd years. We haven't gotten there yet. There are several areas beyond the mission and the Channel Islands National Park, which are both sisters, by the way. The park's a sister park and the mission is a sister mission.
Mm.
But what we would like to do is start to develop ties between our arts community, which is good for us to knock on your door and tie in both visual artists and performing artists. We think that there's some benefit in tying in the history, and so the museums that can exchange historical information, and then we do want to build in the schools and try to get them involved and develop some kind of student exchange program and learning experience there. So those are about the five main legs of areas that we're focusing on and trying to get people involved from all of those areas.
To me, just that alone, and especially the fact that they reached out to you is valuable in itself. Just real quick, and you sort of touched on it when we first started talking, the value of having a sister city, the value in putting this program out to people, that they'll respond to it. By then, I mean our city, the people that we want to support this.
I think we will. We've had several booths at different venues. We've been at the street fair the last 2 years. We just were at the this past one, and we've been at other events with our booth. And a number of people will stop by and say, "Oh, I know Loreto. I've been down there. It's a great place to go fishing. It's a quiet little town. It's pretty." The interesting thing about Loreto is, of course, it was once upon a time much more of a commercial fishing place. But like many of those communities along the Sea of Cortez, they realize that they are starting to A, overfish, B, they have to worry about pollution and what it does to the fishing. So there's a special group that we're kind of tied to as well. It's another nonprofit that's established in Loreto called Eco Alianza. Eco Alianza's whole mission is to try to educate the populace of Loreto, and they're starting with students and getting them to understand things like don't throw plastic in the ocean. We need to clean up our waters. We need to protect the fish. And they're actually getting the older fishermen to stop doing so much commercial fishing as they do sport fishing. It's a great place to go sport fishing for individuals, but not huge nets. And then doing a lot of ecotourism. The other tie we have to Loreto is that it's actually we have ties to so many marine species. A lot of the same species we have off our coast here go down all the way around the Horn at Baja and come back up into Sea Cortez, and they have all the whales we've got. They've got manta rays. They've got all kinds of wonderful marine life, and they actually have in Loreto every March a blue whale festival, and we're trying to see if we can get organized to go down there in the spring and have people come down and partake of that as well, because that would be absolutely fascinating to see the blue whales out there. The photographs I've seen of these, particularly the huge, I don't know what you call a group of manta rays, a whole bunch of them in the hundreds. It's pretty amazing. So it's a wonderful place, and Loreto is trying to change its dynamic and focus a lot on the ecotourism plus its history.
That sounds fantastic, and definitely something that we as a town can absolutely, I think we could up our game actually listening to all that. How do people get in touch with you?
It's pretty easy. You can write to me at chair@venturasistercity.org. And whether I'm in that seat or somebody else, there will be somebody who will respond to chair@venturasistercity.org. You can go to our Facebook page, which is Ventura Sister City, or you can look up our web page, which is venturasistercity.org. And any of those ways will have a direction or a way to get a hold of us. And just look for us at venues, and wherever we pop up, we may be doing some fundraisers around town.
That's what I was going to say, is that people, can get in touch with you to support. Yes, you're a nonprofit, but to support this organization, because moving people internationally in, getting artists down there, getting artists up here, materials, spreading this word, it all, it costs money and effort.
Right. Right. And one of the questions be, well, okay, and here's the dues structure. This is so simple and easy. And I think Hermosa Beach is kind of comparative to us. We ask $25 for individuals, $50 for a family. If you're a corporation, it's $100 for memberships. Now, well, what do I get from my membership? Which is a fair question. What you get is some good feeling in your heart, but more importantly, is we're trying to build a coffer for that very reason. It is much more difficult for the people on our Mexican side to get up here to handle the cost offsets than it is for us, better off Americans, to go down there. We can go down. Currently, right now, Alaska Air is offering, flights down. I think it's 5 out of the 7 days, and you can get down there in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's pretty easy to do out of LAX, but it's not as easy for the Loretans to get up here. So we're trying to build some coffers to help them, so that we can actually do some physical exchanges. Their people can come up here as well as us going down there. So that's much of what the membership dues will be focusing on.
Right. It's not paying the board members. It's very important
No,
to say
no,
that. Right.
totally volunteer. If you don't like volunteer time and don't want no money for this, you're in the wrong place.
No, you just have to lay it out there so people know.
Yes, thank you.
You are so welcome. And I want to thank you, Carl, for spreading the word and good luck with this organization. And I want to thank you, our public, for joining us on Our Ventura TV. And I'll be seeing you around.